going to be your last spring, right?
Yes, sir.
It's gone pretty quick. Just talk to me a little bit about that, your feelings about, being out here for the last time in the spring.
I mean, it's bittersweet, Like, my last practice for high school, I wasn't as sad as I was when I first came out here because this could be the last one for me, ever. Getting to be with the guys like Trey Sophia, Booby, Bill, Kyle, it's bittersweet because when it's all over, we're not going to put these pads on together. But it's all about making the most out of it. We came out here. Our main objective is let's get our young guys a lot of reps. Let's teach them up. Let's coach them up so we can have a lot of depth this season. So that's our main mindset this year.
You were a guy who got his chance to play last year, and there was a pretty experienced defensive line. Now you're kind of one of the more experienced guys, right? A little bit. How has that role changed for you a little bit, do you think?
Being in a room with Austin Hill, Nate Smith, Darius Richardson, and Chris Frey, they taught me a lot. They taught me a lot about leadership. So stepping into the role they had with me is a lot easier because they've been shaping me to be that person since I was a freshman traveling with them.
You remember your first encounters as a freshman and what that was like? And yeah,
my first encounter was with Nolan Cockrill. Everybody remembers Nolan, and I thought he would just be the meanest guy on this planet, but he was the nicest guy in the world. And him and Austin, they took me up under their wing and just taught me what Army football was all about.
No doubt. Hey, how much do you you say this is the last spring for you and you take every moment that you can. How much do you do that considering last season with Syracuse and what happened there? I mean, you kind of are you grateful for just having a chance I don't know how serious it was, and maybe you don't want to get into that, but
it was. So after Syracuse, every time I step on the field I say a prayer because you never know when your last one could be. That was a pretty scary moment for me. So before every game, before every time I step on this field, I treat it like it's my last one because who knows, God has a bigger plan, but Syracuse is really a scary one for me.
Yeah, and so that has that not really motivation, but like you say, were you were you religious before that? I mean, were you a person that looked to that?
Yes, I'm a very religious person. I grew up in the church. That didn't strengthen my religion because my religion was already strong, but
sure.
Me and God spoke while I was on that stretcher. We had a one-on-one conversation, and me and God speak before I touch this field every day. Protect me and my teammates. Don't let anything happen to us that we can't bounce back from. So I pray for everybody before I touch the field because I've been through the scary moments, and I don't want any of my teammates or anybody on another team to go through that moment.
It's pretty powerful when you think about it, isn't it? And then do you feel I don't know, with this spring, I mean, do you feel not the motivation, but the spirit of yourself? Do you feel you have the spirit, there's more spirit in you this year? Or
yes. Because there's more spirit in me because at the end of the day, like I said on the last one, is I don't know when my last play could be. This is my senior year, and it could be the next play I get out here on practice. So I take every play not for granted. I take it as a blessing because some of my teammates from last year, some of my teammates aren't getting plays in this spring. So yeah, I do it for all of them. I dedicate my practices to them.
Real quick, at the end of the Army-Navy game last year, you were on the field for the key play, right?
Yes, sir.
What was that like to have that happen? After the year that you've been through, maybe earlier in the season, to be out there and be a factor in that play.
I'll let you know. I don't even remember it. We watch it back, and some of my teammates yo, you got the tackle. I'm I don't even remember that happening.
Really?
It was such a blur. It was such a special moment that I kind of blacked out during the play. And you could see me walking around the field yelling at when they're reviewing it, talking to my teammates, and it's just it was such a blur for me. But it was a blessing to be out there. It was a blessing that my coach trusted me on that last play to be in the game. And I was just happy the whole defense as a whole could get it done.
Have you watched that play over again or no?
I watched it over and over and over.
Was that off-season motivation, so to speak?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.